Hey everyone, Shaun Stevenson here, author of the Throne series, and I am back. It has been a few days because I was sick, probably with the flu. So, yeah, it's been not very fun. My voice is still a little scratchy, so hopefully that's okay, and I might take some breaks to get a sip of water from my, wonderful water bottle here. But we're going to do this. It is time for my birthday haul. My birthday was last month, and so it is time to show you all the things I got. Plus, I wanted to tell you about, since, it's been so long, I wanted to tell you about my first experience buying books from Thrift Books. Now, this is not a sponsored thing, even though it's going to sound like a sponsored thing. I'm not sponsored by Thrift Books, but I had such a great experience buying books from them. I didn't expect it. I kind of thought, I've bought from Thrift Books through Amazon and through eBay before, and I thought, why don't I just go to their website and start looking around at what they have? Because lately, a lot of the books I've been looking for are older books that are used and things that I can't find very easily brand new. So I thought, well, let me just go straight to Thrift Books. So I made an account. That was super easy. I was afraid it would be this big long thing about an account. So I made an account, and you can create a wish list. And here's the most awesome thing about it. On your wish list, you can have Thrift Books notify you when something comes in stock. So you can add something to your wish list. So for instance, I added a book, Merry-Go-Round in Oz, an Oz book, to my wish list. And I have it to notify me whenever that book comes in stock. So it did notify me, and I got the email about it, and I got to it an hour later, and it was already gone. So I thought, okay, this is good to know. Like, this notify thing is good. I need to just get on it if there's something I really am wanting to go get on there and get it if it shows up in my email feed of, hey, here's a book that you were looking for is on Thrift Books now. So I found 4 other books, and they had this thing going called deals, where you got some percentage off of each book of the deal that you got. And then you also earn points for each book that you order. So I got 4 books from Thrift Books, and a total with shipping cost me $18. So I thought, okay, 4 books for $18, and that includes the shipping and tax and everything. Sounds good to me. So these were the 4 books I got. I finally am completing my Forbidden Doors 90s collection, because now I have Forbidden Doors book number 3, The Spell by Bill Myers, in the old 90s format. And this is a really great copy. It said it was a like new, and I tend to agree. Like, the corners are pretty good still, and it has like barely, I don't think it's been read, honestly, by looking at it. So this is an awesome book to add to my collection, which I'm super excited about. The next one I got was book number 4 in the Forbidden Doors series, The Haunting by Bill Myers. And again, another one that was in like a like new condition. This one, the binding was a tiny bit, like there's a little tiny scratch on there, but it's barely anything for the price I paid, I feel like. I really thought it was a good edition, had all the things I'm looking for. It was wonderful. And then finally, I have never owned this book. I've owned other books in the series, but I've never owned book 1, so I couldn't ever read this series even as a kid. I had book 3 as a kid because I got it, I think, at a used book sale where it was super on sale. But so I finally now have, because of Thrift Books, book number 1 in the Juna series, Journey to Juna. This is the Juna trilogy, book number 1 by Kim Engelman. And I can finally read this series. It's a fantasy series about like an evil swan that tries to take over the world. So, we'll see what happens. But that is Journey to Juna. This one, it was a good condition, which I agree. It has like a little bit of curling on the corner there, but otherwise pretty good shape. And then the last one, I couldn't go without getting some Ghosts of Fear Street, because I really love Ghosts of Fear Street. I think I like it better than Goosebumps. I don't know. Jury's still out. But I got book number 1 because I didn't have this one, Hide and Shriek, R.L. Stine's Ghosts of Fear Street. So this one is another one. It was a good condition, which I think it is good. It has like the bumped up cover, the embossed cover here. So that was really awesome. It's not a first printing. It's a kind of a ways in, but it still is a good condition copy, which I was excited about that. This one I don't think is one of the harder ones to get anyway, but here we are. So now on to the birthday books. So these are all the books that I got for my birthday. I was super excited to get these. Some of them came from my wife, some from my family. So I'll have to show you all of these books. There's quite a few. So the first one I'm going to show you is an updated version of Halloween Party in the Fear Street series by R.L. Stine. So this is the one where they updated some of the things, like the music song that's talked about in the book during the dance party. They have a different song they talk about. There's some little quick mentions of different things that are more modern. So that was kind of an interesting thing, but this is Halloween Party, a newer edition of the book that my family got me. And then my family also sent me The Secret Bedroom, R.L. Stine's Fear Street. So this one, I'm excited to read this one. This is one of the older style books, and so I am excited to read The Secret Bedroom. And then this was a really interesting book. I'm super excited to read this. I've heard some mixed reviews about it because it wasn't quite what people expected, but now that I know it's not quite what people expected, I think that helps me out in going into this book. So I got There Is Something Strange About My Brain by R.L. Stine, and this is about writing horror for kids. So I'm excited to read this book. He kind of goes through all of his tips and tricks on how he writes horror books for kids, and this is where people felt a little bit cheated. It has a lot of journal type pages in it where you can write out your ideas. It gives you some writing prompts and things, but there is a lot of different tips and tricks that he also puts in here to help you out along the way. And then this one was super cool. This one, so my mom messaged me and she said that because of some of the Fear Street reviews on here, she was kind of getting interested in reading one. She'd never read one before, so she actually got a copy of Silent Night, the Fear Street Super Chiller by R.L. Stine, and read it, and then she said, I'm going to send you my copy. So she read this one and then she sent it to me so I can read it. So I'm excited to read this one. I haven't read it yet, so she wants me to read it so we could talk about it. So, and my brother, I think, read this one too. So it'll be fun to talk about once I finish reading it. And then the other Fear Street book they sent me was The Wrong Number by R.L. Stine. So this one is another newer edition of the book, but I am excited to read it because I've heard this one is pretty fun. So that'll be good. And then my wife got me the entire collection of a series by Sigmund Bauer called The Accidental Detectives. It's a 90s Christian detective mystery series. So I'm excited to read these because they're like that 90s nostalgia. I had never read them as a kid. So, and I'm very intrigued by all things like 90s kids books right now. So I want to read these books. So I'm going to show them all to you. There's quite a few. So the first one is Lost Beneath Manhattan. And this one has a very old style like cover. It's kind of fun. It kind of almost has like a 70s vibe in a way, even though it's the 90s. So, and then the next one I got was The Mystery Tribe of Camp Black Eagle. So this one's another one in the series. These ones, they don't really, oh, this one does have a number on the side. It's number 2. So that is book 2. And then book number 3 is Phantom Outlaw at Wolf Creek. So I'm excited to read this one. I kind of like Western stories. I think they're fun. So especially when there's like a little bit of mystery added to it, a little bit of ghost spookiness to it, it's kind of fun. So that is book number 3. And then book number 4 is The Disappearing Jewel of Madagascar. So that one looks like a lot of fun. The next one, book number 5, is The Missing Map of Pirate's Haven, which I always love a good pirate story. Kind of like this one has a definite Goonies look to me. I mean, that guy right there is like the older brother, like dressed up in the Goonies. So we'll see what happens in this book. And then book number 6 was Creature of the Mists, which I think this one looks kind of interesting. I'm curious what's going on in this book here. These seem to have kind of a Hardy Boys sort of vibe. Not as much maybe a Nancy Drew vibe, but more a Hardy Boys. So we'll see how they are. Number 7 is Race for the Park Street Treasure. Number 8 is The Downtown Desperados. Number 9, this one looks really interesting to me, is Madness at Moonshiner's Bay. That looks like a fun one to me with the crocodile and stuff there. And then for book number 10, they actually started changing the covers. So this is Sunrise at the Mayan Temple. So they kind of did a new design based off of the older ones. They changed it up a little bit, made it a little more modern for the time. So that's kind of an interesting change. I don't know which one I like better yet. I'm going to have to sit with it and decide. So number 11 is actually a collection of short stories called Short Cuts. So this one has 11 adventures in one great book. And so it's part of the series, but it's like short stories based on the characters. I am curious if these were previously published in like a magazine of some kind and they collected them together. Actually, I'm going to look and see what we got going on here. I don't see anything in here about them being part of a magazine printing at all, but that is Shortcuts, book number 11. And then book number 12 is Terror on Kamikaze Run. So we'll see what happens in the skiing one. This one looks really interesting to me. This is number 13, Tyrant of the Badlands. And it has that big T-Rex skeleton on the cover. So that'll be fun to kind of see what's going on in this one. And then I got a couple other books. This one was a treat myself book for my birthday. So I used a gift card that I got to collect not only book number 3, but also book number 4 in the Monsterious series by Matt McMahon, and this is The Beast of Skull Rock. I've actually read the first 3 already. I'm excited to read this one next. I don't know if I should like wait a little bit because book number 5 doesn't come out till August, so I'll be in a little bit of a in between the Monsterious books time, but that's okay. So this is book number 4 in the Monsterious series. And then my wife also got me this book. This is a Choose Your Own Adventure, Heroes and Monsters in the Stranger Things World. So it's like a super-sized Choose Your Own Adventure book. And it looks like it's based off the last season that just came out because the Joseph Quinn character there is on the back. But this one is a Choose Your Own Adventure of Stranger Things. So it's set up just like any Choose Your Own Adventure book. But that one looks really awesome. I'm excited to read this one. And then this was another treat myself book because, every now and again you gotta. So this book I got with a gift card, and it was an indie book because every now and again I like to look for books that are written by indies, to read books that are written by indies and promote their work as well. So this one is a sci-fi one because I was looking for a good, not just like a hardcore sci-fi, like an Arthur C. Clarke kind of book, but also I like other kinds of sci-fi as well that have like space aliens or the Star Wars-y kind of feel with a little bit of a fantasy vibe to them. So this one looked like an interesting in-between. And so this is Jeremy Austin and the War World by Rod C. Spence. So this one looks like a fun one. It's about a kid who kind of like crosses dimensions and there's like all kinds of stuff going on. So I'm excited to read this book, kind of check it out, see what I think. And it looked like a fun one when I was reading the back matter. So yeah, so that is my birthday book haul, plus my first Thrift Books experience. So I'm very excited about all these books. I cannot wait to read them. It is just added to my stack of books to read. And don't worry, yes, I do get to my stacked books to read. I've read quite a few books so far this year, and I'm going to keep reading. So until next time, everybody, keep reading. Bye!